Hey, everybody. Michael Sherlock here with Shock Your Potential. Hey, this is my first live stream. I We'll just see how it goes. I'm actually really excited about it. And so I wanted to take some time to answer some questions. I've got some folks that have been reaching out to me a lot lately and asking me things about, how to navigate through this crazy time with lots and lots of job layoffs and furloughs and reductions in not only force but maybe hours. So I thought, you know what? We're going to just start every Friday. I'm just going to take some questions. Some will be live once we get, more people actually following us live. And some, like today, will be a couple of the top questions that I've had in the last week. So I had three this week. The first one is from Pam. And Pam's question was, I have been a district sales manager in retail clothing, and my job was eliminated. Sorry, Pam. And we talked about this, and I can only find jobs in my area where I live for store manager positions. And even those are pretty scarce. But how will I impact my career if I take several steps backwards? And Pam and I actually talked through this. I thought this was a great one to tackle because she handled this with a lot of grace. But it's a terrible situation to be in, without a doubt. So because I know Pam and because she knows that I'm very blunt, I said, Pam, what's more important, your income or your ego? And she went, oh gosh, I hate that answer or that question. But it really was not meant to be anything other than to help her understand that the reason that, she's hesitant with that is for the ego part of it. It's not easy to go backwards or to feel like you're going backwards. But, we talked through it. There's a couple different things that you can do. I mean, first of all, you've got to recognize that the ego is going to be bruised in that. I mean, there could be repercussions to your career trajectory, but only if you don't work it correctly. But that first part, that icky part, is my ego feels bruised, and I don't like that. So as we talked through it, I said, okay, so what are the pros? What are the cons? And basically, we came to the understanding together that yes, it might not feel good, but it's important to have a paycheck. It's important for her family, for her to keep working. And so I talked about, number one, wherever you're going, you don't know when that next opportunity may open up within that company. So maybe you're a store manager today, but they know that you were a district manager and there's an opening again, later on down the road. If you start to pursue other positions and you have to explain why you went back into a sales, just a single store manager position, that's easy to say. Look, COVID affected us all. This industry has been hit very hard. And it was important for me to keep providing for my family. So therefore, the only opportunity I had to stay in this industry, because I'm passionate about this industry, is to, take a store manager position. And I got to be honest, it hurt my ego a little bit. But once I got in there and I realized it's actually a wonderful opportunity to go back and be in the shoes of the store managers that I led again. And, think about the things that I was asking them. I think going backwards is actually going to make me a better district manager in the future. So as we talked through that, she really became excited and said, gosh, I never thought of it as an opportunity and something that you could really get a hold of and turn it to the positive. So that's, to me, that was a win-win. So second question that I got this week was from someone named Tara. And she said, I love my job, but my hours have been cut so dramatically that I can't make ends meet. What do I do? Tough one. So the reality is, again, just like Pam, is, you got to have a paycheck. So if you are going to still work someplace and you can't make your ends meet, no matter how much you love that job, it's not going to sustain you if it's not going to come back in a time that it will make it beneficial to you. And we talked through that a little bit about how long do you think this is going to last? And is this really because you love this job in this company? In her case, yes, it absolutely was. But at what point in time are you not going to love it when you can't make the paycheck stretch to where you need to be? And unfortunately, in this situation, she is starting to look elsewhere. She has no other choice. But I said, once you feel more secure with that too, those are good dialogues to have with your leadership team to be able to say, look, I have to be honest, I can't make it on these hours. Not that they can do much about it because, where we're seeing all these impacts, especially in the retail sector, your manager may not be able to do more than what they're doing. But having honest dialogues, and not in a complaining way, but really in a manner that's saying, look, I want to come to you because I love this company and I love this job and I don't want to leave, but I hope you understand that taking care of my family is a priority. And people will understand that and they will work to try and help you the best they can. If they can't make it happen in their company, I tell you, there's probably, at least a great opportunity for them to say, you know what, I know someplace else you may be able to, excuse me, find a home. And those are the dialogues that honest discussions can really have. So the third one, so I'm going to tackle 3 this week, was really this is another good one about ego. So this is from Anthony, and he said the only jobs where I live right now, because he was also furloughed, the only jobs where I live right now are with companies or jobs that I am not at all excited about. And this was a nice way of him saying he didn't want to go to the type of company. It just didn't fit with where he'd been. And so, we talked about it. And I was telling him a story that there's this a store that I just absolutely love in Minnesota, and it's probably elsewhere too, but it's called Fleet Farm. And Fleet Farm is this strange, amazing, like warehouse. So you can buy, cattle feed, you can buy, camo boots, you can buy lots of crazy things. You can buy big packages of cashews for like $7. I mean, it's just weird in terms of the variety of things, but it's really a company that is for people that, live on farms. I happen to love it. I don't live on a farm, but I love walking through and seeing what there is to see there. And I said, I can see that if you had had this great job, working for Cartier, you may not want to take a job working for Fleet Farm because that's not exactly in your wheelhouse or where you've been, which is kind of a little bit about what the story was with Anthony. But the thing is, number one, in a time where people need jobs, they might not be your ideal job. But here's the thing, you don't know what it might be. You don't know what could happen. You don't know what could be the opportunity that comes from that. And as we really move, through, thinking about what does it mean to take a job in a time where all this craziness is happening, you're actually taking control. You're taking control of your life, and you can tell that story any way you want to. You can tell the story in a way that needs to be told. And you can be honest. So if I were hiring you 2 years from now and you went from working at Tiffany Jewelers to the Fleet Farm and you said, you know what? It was COVID. I had to take a job. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really want to go to work for Fleet Farm. But when I got there, this is what I learned. I learned that my leadership skills still worked in this environment. I learned that there was upward potential that I had no idea about. I learned that I worked with really hardworking people and made me very proud to go to work. And I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity. So if I heard those things from you, I would not at all think poorly of you for taking a different path. I would say this is a person who does what it takes, who knows how to make the best of a situation, and who absolutely knows how to spin it, at least in their mind, to make it a positive. So, and here's Christy Payne. She says, I just love listening to you. You've got such a motivating insight. Well, thank you, Christy. I miss you. I enjoyed working with you. So, and nice to have a little comment. This is getting very fun. So I don't see any other questions for today, but we're going to start doing this every Friday, if not, a little bit more. We'll see what happens. So if you guys have individual questions, about jobs, job search, professional development, throw them my way. Pop me an email, michael@shockyourpotential.com, and we will put them out there. So thank you, everybody. It has been a pleasure. And by the way, Yoga Dog, says hello.